Welcome to Bat Signals from the Multiverse of Facebook and YouTube Live podcast, shining a light across Gotham, Marvel, and the infinite chaos of comics, movies, and pop culture. Each week we fire up the signal and talk about comic reviews, movie breakdowns, passionate debates, ridiculous games, and yes, the occasional crossover nobody asked for, but we're going to give it to you anyway. And if you miss us live, you can catch us on the show later on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your audio fix. I'm the host, the self-proclaimed Emperor of Awesome, Bradley Butin, and I can't do any type of episode without my tag team partner. Yes, the unverified twin of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in the eyebrows. The unverified twin of Dave Bautista in the head wrinkles. And yes, the unverified twin of Carl Weathers in the mustache.
The flavor, savor.
The unverified twin of Tony Todd in the right earlobe. And yes, the unverified twin of Carrot Top. I'm just kidding. And yes, the unverified twin of Shamar Moore in the nipples.
But Carrot Top and I do have the same deltoids, okay? So in the neck shoulder area. By the way, he was been eating more than carrots. If you've seen Carrot Top in the last decade, all right?
Right? Dude is
but with stacked. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for joining us on our podcast this week for what is the best time that we have all week long. My name is Brian S. Dennis, and this was the S stands for Rada the Hut. Man, Rada was my boy. Rada was
dude,
my boy.
I cannot wait to get into this.
We're going to talk about absolutely.
Man, I 3 times today I was like, do not text Brian and ask him what his thoughts were on Star Wars, The Mandalorian, and Grogu, because I want this fresh for the show.
Same. It was all I could. Last night coming out, I want to go. Me and my son saw it last night at 7:00 show at B&B. And on the way out, I was like, I'm not gonna blow up his phone. I'll wait. Oh, and then like I said today, I was like, I got to keep myself busy, so I did not blow it up because I want to talk to you on the pod. So here we go. Let's do the damn thing.
All right. So what we got today, we have the Mount Rushmore of our favorite Star Wars characters, a WWE heat check. We're gonna go to Nerd Court. We have at least one bad decision through this episode. And Brian, what are we doing first?
Let's talk about our favorites of the week, and if you don't mind, I'll kick us off.
Yeah,
so mine are going to be concentrated to some shows and one very particular movie. So with our shows, we had not only the season, but the series finale of The Boys. I know you're doing a rewatch, so you're probably not up to season 5 as of yet. I will say season 5, if you read online reviews, some ups and downs, I overall really like this season. This honestly might be, aside from the first season, my absolute favorite season. And what I will say is, for me at least, the series finale gave a really satisfying end to the series. And like any good series, it also left a few things hanging in case whatever they decide to bring it back, decide to do some spinoffs, and it also gave you some teasers for the prequel, Project Vault. So you want to see how we get from the prequel to the actual items that happened during The Boys. Also, catch up on From again. Not a new episode this week, but From season 4, I believe, is still really good. And Bradley, do you enjoy Stranger Things?
I do.
Bradley, do you enjoy, or did you enjoy, The Golden Girls?
Yes.
So, if Stranger Things and The Golden Girls had a baby, it will be this new show called The Burrows.
Oh, I can't wait to watch this.
It is streaming on Netflix. I am just the first episode in. The cast is amazing. Yeah. It's got our boy Alfred Molina from the best, probably in my opinion, the best Spider-Man villain we've had at least on the screen. It's got Gina Davis. It's got not Bill, the gentleman who plays the president in Independence Day.
Bill
Now I'm
Pullman.
forgetting his name. Bill Pullman, not Bill Paxton. R.P. to Bill Paxton.
Yes.
By the way, some great casting. And again, similar to the beginning of Stranger Things, you know something's going on. You're not sure what's going on, and you can't wait to find out what's going on. So if I make it to my 70s, I know what I don't want to happen where I live. But again, check out the Burrows again. And I couldn't think of a better way to describe it than Stranger Things meets the Golden Girls, other than the cast is primarily male. But by the way, if cloning and reincarnation is a thing, or in the world of AI, some industrious hacker out there, somebody pitched to AI to give us a Stranger Things Golden Girls crossover where Blanche, Rose, Dorothy, and Sophia try and figure out the world, or at least fight some ghosts. Because who are you gonna call?
Ghostbusters.
And I want to thank you for being a friend. All right, my friend.
Right.
And then the movie, which I'm sure we'll work through together, is Mando and the Mandalorian and Grogu. But sir, what are your favorites?
All right, we'll do that at the end. We'll talk that at the end of all of our favorites. I'll go pretty quick here because I really, there's only a couple things I really want to bring up outside of what you talked about. So Marshals, the season finale is tonight, and you know what? It's a pretty decent show.
Okay.
Pretty decent. Like, is it great? No, because it's so different than what Yellowstone was. But Dutton Ranch is fantastic.
Well, Marshals has my least favorite of the Dutton children.
Yeah.
While Dutton Ranch has my favorite of the Dutton children and my favorite character, period, of the show. So Beth and Rip were my favorite characters from Yellowstone. Ash was not a huge fan of the Kevin Costner character. Ashley liked the character of Jamie as well. So seeing Beth and Rip, and I think that was the thing by the end of the series. We all wanted more Beth. We always wanted more Rip. So this is what they're giving us. Plus, Annette Bening and Ed Harris. How can you go wrong with that casting, my friend?
Absolutely none. And then besides Star Wars, Mandalorian and Grogu, I actually watched the movie Passenger.
How was that?
It was great. I am not ashamed to admit this.
Okay.
I jumped out of my freaking skin like 17 times.
Okay, I was curious about it because I've seen my fair share of I've seen my fair share of horror movies, and generally it's hard to get an authentic jump scare out of me.
This one, this does it perfectly.
This one did it.
This one does it. This one doesn't.
Okay.
Yep, and it knows what it is, so it's not going to go. It doesn't go too far in the weeds. It knows exactly what it is. It's not going to win any awards, or it's not rewriting the horror playbook. Yep. It's
I call that the Final Destination rule. Like, we know what we are, we do it, and we'll do it well, right? Exactly.
Which are making a new one of those, by the way.
Final Destination.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
they should call this one Final Destination. No off ramps. Final Destination. Now I know Spaceball didn't do it, but Final Destination should do it. Final Destination: The Quest for More Money. Because overall I've enjoyed. We said this on the pod before. Overall, I've enjoyed the vast majority of the Final Destination movies. I really like Final Destination Bloodlines. We discussed it on the pod before. There's a few of those very niche horror movies that are fairly inexpensive, with my Hollywood standards, fairly inexpensive, talking a few million to make, and then so they basically get a profit after one weekend. Even if they're in the mid-level regarding that weekend's box office, so they kind of print money, and I get them. I get why they have them, but they also know what they are, what they're not, and they do the tropes well. We understand with Final Destination, similar to Saw, we want to see the cool ways in which people meet their maker. And if Passenger does something very similar to that, I'm all for it, man.
Absolutely. And comics, man. So I read a couple comics. There's two of them I want to take a few seconds and talk about. I read Daredevil #2. This is this new Stephanie Phillips run. Okay. It's fine. Whatever. Man, like issue 1 was way up there, and now they like went way back, hit the brakes hard, and it's now like building up the characters. I'm like, could have given me a little bit more. I was a little bit disappointed with issue #2. Sorry, Stephanie Phillips.
In the crimson suit, is it going back to the old school red and black suit, or yellowish suit? Excuse me, the yellow suit.
Red. This is red. Yep.
I want someone to give me Daredevil in the old school yellow suit. I just felt like, and by the way, when Daredevil first came out, I hated that suit. Because I came in when he was in the suit that most people recognize. Then I read some back issues, and as I've gotten older, I love that yellow look because every superhero, especially that nighttime focus, almost vigilante truth, everybody dresses in dark colors. I love the fact you have a blind character who wears the brightest colors and fights at night. I just love the irony, and it makes me love Daredevil that much more. So again, Marvel, if you're listening, and we know you are, give us Daredevil in an old school suit. I thought that's what they're gonna do in, I believe it was She-Hulk, where they had like the helmet that's reminiscent of the old suit. But in Born Again, we didn't get that. But who knows? All right, so what else you got?
Okay, Batman #9. This is the Matt Fraction run. It was a bigger issue. In issue 12, they're going to be introducing the new Batman Butler. Coming up in a couple of issues.
I've seen the photos.
Yes,
we have a name. I've seen the photos. Do we have a name?
We do at least nothing that I found.
Okay.
But this is pretty cool. There's a plan that's going into effect. Barbara Gordon gets arrested, and which is spinning off into a new solo series.
Sure.
Which I got issue 1, haven't read it yet. I'm looking forward to getting into that. Signal was a big part of this one. When I was really good to see Duke Thomas back.
Yep.
Absolutely. And Stephanie Phillips is Batgirl, and of course Damian Wayne is Robin. Really good issue, but the issue that takes the cake for me, Green Arrow, absolute Green Arrow.
I should have it in my hot little hands Tuesday. I ordered it. I think we talked Wednesday or Thursday about the issues. So ordered that and the first couple of Firestorm, and I got the notification they're being mailed to me, so I should have those. By the way, we're recording the day before Memorial Day, so everybody, I hope you had a happy, wonderful, safe Memorial Day weekend. And again, all respect to those that have laid down their lives. And for my podcast partner, who is also a very proud veteran, thank you for your service.
Absolutely.
With that being said, I expect to have him on Tuesday, but I am also really excited. You mentioned, I want to get back to Green Arrow, but you mentioning the Batman comic made me had this question come up. Who do you, and I understand it's been various versions in the comics and the movies and all the different way of Batman canon. If we speak specifically, let's talk about this one character 2 different ways. Here's our side quest.
Okay.
Who is a better, romantically, who is a better match for Barbara Gordon? Who's a better match for Batgirl? Okay. So thinking Batman, Robin / Nightwing, or anyone else, who's a better match? If you were think about it, if you were talking Barbara Gordon, you're coming home to Commissioner Gordon, or if you're Batgirl, someone that gets the superhero lifestyle. They don't have to be a superhero themselves.
Yeah.
But who's a match for Batgirl versus who's a match for Barbara Gordon, and they don't have to be the same person.
So romantically. Okay. Well, Barbara Gordon's match is Dick Grayson.
Okay. Fair. Makes perfect sense.
But I think so I'm gonna do this in 3 ways. I'm gonna do Barbara Gordon, and then I'm gonna do Barbara Gordon Batgirl is a match for Batman, but not romantically, because that's just gross to me. I feel like, but like
even in the storylines where that happens repeatedly on a variety of roofs. Okay.
But Oracle is a match for Tim Drake.
I like that. I almost brought an Oracle. I like that. So if I'm hearing you correctly, Barbara Gordon is with Dick Grayson. Oracle is with Tim Drake, and then you said Batgirl is with who? Who's Batgirl with?
Batgirl is with Batman. So, in essence, Barbara Gordon and Dick Grayson, I think, are the perfect couple, especially in comics.
And that's always, if you know the history of comics, that's in the characters. That's always where Marvel. And by the way, real quick, Barbara Gordon, keep your hands off Starfire's man, because we know you ain't winning that fight. You don't literally want that smoke. All right, continue, sir.
Oh yeah, that's it. And then Green Arrow. I cannot wait for your take on Absolute Green Arrow number 1.
I'm excited. I am not the Green Arrow fan you are, but you have talked this up, and I know you wouldn't talk it up if it wasn't great. I'm so excited to read it.
I mean, here's the pitch, man. Green Arrow is a serial killer, and he's killing billionaires who, you know what? I'm going to leave it there. He's just killing billionaires. So we're going to leave it there. All right, dude. We got to
Do you
talk
feel
some
that
Star
this
Wars.
is inspired by Clint's Ronin run in on Marvel?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
Probably a little bit of that. Yeah.
All right. So one of these days in the future pod, we need to pick a power and go who best represents that power. So who's the best archer?
Ooh.
Who's the best speedster? Who's the best one? Super strength, not Superman, because that's too easy. And it
Yeah.
can be across all spectrum. But do we have a cameo? Yes, we do.
You want to say hi? You want these?
I'm Leia.
I love your glasses, Princess Leia. How are you?
I'm good.
Are the
This
glasses
is
new?
very weird. Yeah. I got
When'd you
2
get
new
those?
pairs. Visions Plus. I think. That's what
Okay,
it's
when
called.
did you get them? When?
How
long you had
I
'em?
think 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, they look great. I love them. Yeah, you know, I'm a fan of the spectacles, so digging the glasses. So me and your dad wear kind of similar old man glasses, but those are cool. Those are really cool. Are you done with school this year? You still got some more school?
I got 1 more week of school.
So this is your last week that we're getting ready to go into.
But I don't
All
have
right.
school tomorrow.
Okay. Tomorrow's Memorial Day, so I'm sure you don't.
Yeah.
But
And
what
then-
is, before we get back to the podcast, what is one thing you're looking forward to doing during your summer vacation? What's one thing you can't wait to do?
Looking forward to spending more time with my family and my friends and marching band.
Well, that was 3 things, but that's cool. All right, marching band, what are you going to play?
Fluty tooty.
I love me a flautist. That is fantastic. All right. Let me get her bye-bye so I can talk to your dad.
No, I'm gonna
got
have
more?
1 more week of middle school, and then I'm gonna be a high schooler. He's gonna
Excited
have all
for
high
you.
schoolers.
You're going to be the coolest high schooler ever because you are named after the coolest princess ever. I love it.
Yep, we watched
right.
Mandalorian on Thursday.
And I watched Mandalorian last night, so we're going to talk about that. All right, sweetie. Let me get her bye-bye, princess.
Bye bye.
Her bye-bye.
Yep. Okay.
She doesn't love her dad at all. She doesn't love
I
her
know,
dad at
right?
all.
I know.
She can't stand you at all.
No.
Yeah. How cool. And before we jump into this, dad to dad, father to father, it is so cool that not only that you're about to be a high school kid, want to spend so much time with you, but you have a daughter and you're a girl dad, right? But the fact you have a daughter that wants to pop in on her dad's silly podcast with his silly friend is really cool, man. So, hey, first off, dads matter. Father's Day's coming up, so dads matter. And I'm saying that to the dads. You matter, so stay involved no matter what else. But secondly, dude, you show how you dad right. You show how you dad right. So I have a lot of respect for that, man.
Thank you very much. All right, man, we got to talk Star Wars.
Let's do the damn thing, sir.
You know what? I want to hear your thoughts, and we'll see what happens.
Okay. All right. So for movies that I really like, I only read the reviews afterwards, so we can talk about that later. But I thought when you take a show, let me just go here. Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau did it the way it should be done. Because at the end of the day, what Star Wars, and this is where they kind of got away from it, honestly, with when they gave the episodes 1 through 3, they tried to come back to episodes 7 through 9, is Star Wars is fun. Yes, when you look at the tone of Empire, that's more serious, it's dark, and that's okay. But at the end of the day, Star Wars, again, we came up during the original 3 trilogy, 4, 5, and 6. Star Wars at the end of the day is meant to be fun. Okay, yes, it has the darker, deeper themes, but it wasn't meant to be a political thriller like they tried to make it during, especially episodes 1 and 2. What this is meant to be is fun. And Mandalorian was a return. Anything that Favreau and Filoni have touched, the Disney Plus series, there's Book of Boba, there's Ahsoka, there's pretty much everything but Andor we've tried. It's fun. And that's what this movie, I heard some people go, oh, it's predictable. And it was done really well.
It's in the name.
Yes, and what they did with this is what I love that Guardians of the Galaxy did with Volume 2. Lots of people, especially younger kids, wanted to go for Grogu, and I get that. They did not overdo it with Grogu. This is not Grogu dot 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 and the Mandalorian. It's not even the Mandal and dot 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 Grogu. It really is it's a buddy movie.
Mhm.
Yes, it's got all the paternal son things between Mando and Grogu, but it truly was a buddy movie. It's a tag team movie. I loved it, and the reason that the S begins is Rhoda Fett. I loved the harking back Rhoda, and give me a yoke buff Hut. I want a Hut movie now. Okay, I want a Hut series. I don't want a Hut.
Yeah.
I want a Hut series. So if also the other thing that I hush is, if this movie was meant to make us want to know about more of the groups and the populations in the Star Wars universe and canon, it also did that. So I really dug it. I really liked it. All the things. But what are your thoughts, my friend?
Dude, is this the greatest of all movies or Star Wars movies? Absolutely not. It's not. But guess what? This is the best Star Wars movie we've got in a long, long, long time.
In a very long time.
And
to me, it's the best one since Rogue One. To me, it's the best one since Rogue One.
Yeah, I buy that. I absolutely. Man, what they did with this was they gave it right back to where it was supposed to be.
Yep.
This isn't, I mean, yes, it's made for us, but this movie was made for the kids.
Yes.
And it shows. I mean, like,
and
yes,
it's not a childish movie, but it's a movie
Right.
that kids can watch. And again, we talked before, it's kids you can take. So my kid's an adult, your kid's getting ready to start high school. You could take your kids, regardless of age, regardless.
Yep.
You as an adult can go and dig the flick. That's the point.
Yeah.
It's a summer movie. It's a summer sci-fi space movie.
Yeah.
Supposed to be fun, and I think that's what it was.
Yeah. It is. It hit everything that it was supposed to hit. I was invested in the characters. I want to see it now, a series of the New Republic with Rhoda
Yes.
the Hutt as one
Yes.
of the generals
Yes.
or whatever they're going to
Yes.
do with him.
Yes.
I mean, like,
Gifts for going to Weaver her flowers. Like, there was so
Yes.
much that was done right in this movie. Yeah.
man, like, and the only criticism that I think that they should have released this on Father's Day weekend.
There's that.
I really think this should have been a
There's
Father's
that.
Day release.
It definitely could. I think they were trying to tie it into, well, a Memorial Day weekend, a 3-day weekend for box office.
Mhm.
Also, May the 4th fell on a Monday or Tuesday this week,
Yeah.
so tying it to May the 4th was not going to happen. At least General Moves are dropped, so they did it in May, and I get doing it in Memorial Weekend. But you're right,
Yeah.
having to be a Father's Day movie was also that, and just Grogu acted like, yes, he's at this point probably 55 years old. You
Yeah,
follow it.
He is 55.
The seasons of the show are like a year of real time. It did everything that you wanted to. I have one small criticism, and I'll share it in a minute. It did everything that you do when you're trying to parent. We both raised children from youth. You're trying to raise a kid with the Force. Can you imagine that? Also, a kid
Yeah.
that doesn't speak, but has how to communicate and all the things. Who's a tiny bit feral. By the way, every toddler is a tiny bit feral.
Yeah.
This is my one critique. I thought we'd get more of it in the movie than we did. Is the undercurrent of the Mandalorian relationship with Grogu has been the difference in how they age. So, Mandalorian, assuming the character of Mando is around the same age as Pedro Pascal, mid-40s. Let's just say that.
Sure.
Maybe make him young to mid-30s. Mid-30s to mid-40s. Grogu is over a decade in chronological age older than Mando, best case scenario, but with the development of the species, is still a toddler.
Yep.
Yoda lived hundreds of years before he passed away. Same deal with Yaddle. So with that being said, I wanted him as a parent to think about what happens next with Grogu. Assuming that Grogu's going to outlive him by quite a bit. We didn't get that, but that may have been a bit of a downer in this. I thought maybe they would have some introduction of, hey, this is, something. But that's fine. They also, and again, one thing that also made, think about how enjoyable this movie was, where we got, other than Grogu, we got nobody that uses the Force. There is no Sith. There's no Jedi. There was none of that. It was droids. It was a few members of the New Republic. It had former Sith members, and it gave us Mando and Grogu with their backup plan. With again, I can't tell you again, if Brock Lesnar was a Hutt, that's who they gave us. All right, sir.
Yeah. And we got a lot more than I thought. And we should have known. You don't get Jeremy Allen White to do this and give him just a cameo, you know?
Yeah.
I love the character development. And just think, Rhoda
and he
the
did
Hutt.
such a great job. Your head did not go to Lip or anybody from the Bear. Like, truthfully, okay, this is Rhoda. I get this. Yep, absolutely.
I mean, and Martin Scorsese was a character
running a food truck
right.
or a food cart, whatever the hell you call it.
Which is a tie back to Jon Favreau's love for cooking and the Bear.
And we got Dave Filoni flying an X-wing.
Right.
Come on now. That by itself, this proves to me how much I love Favreau and Filoni. If you are blessed with the talent, the ability, and the opportunity to write for one of the biggest sci-fi franchises ever in Lucasfilms, I completely would put myself behind an X-wing as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I maybe it's too heavy-handed to give myself a saber and to make myself force. Okay. Cool.
Right.
You know
you can call me Porkins
Put me
Jr.
in that cockpit.
Right.
Yes. Put me in that cockpit. Put me in there, or I'm gonna be the backup singer in the cantina. I'm gonna do one of those two things, and I'm gonna live my best life. And so, good on for all of them. Good on. For all
we had the 501st at B&B all weekend, and like we actually had the largest. One of the guys said that we actually had the largest Mandalorian group in Iowa, in their largest Mandalorians to all in one place in Iowa at B&B Theaters on Friday. It was awesome. But anyway,
there are a couple folks dressed from the movie, and I wish I would have gotten their names. Their costumes were fantastic. Ashley wore this shirt, and I got some love for running the old school Autobots shirt. But yeah, I mean, and again, all respect to what B&B does. Your theater did it really right, and that's one reason I went there. Obviously, you work there. You're my buddy, my pal. But I don't get any money for saying this. I love going to movies at B&B Theaters in Ankeny, Iowa, and it was great. It was cool. Customer service out the chain. You weren't even there. At least we didn't interact when I was there.
I wasn't there.
I got nothing special other than I was just a cat that wanted to come watch a movie, and I got treated extremely well. So good on for B&B.
Rock on. All right, man. That's okay. I guess before we move on from Star Wars and get into Want to Wrestle, I want you to rate it in beardies.
Ooh, okay.
We haven't done a beardy rating in a long time.
All right. I'm giving this Kill Bill, the master in Kill Bill, when he swipes the beard as he's teaching the bride, aka Bellatrix, BB, aka Uma Thurman, that Padmé swiping the beard before he teaches the bride the martial arts, before he rips the eye out of Daryl Hannah. That badass dude eating his fish heads. That's the level of beardy I'm giving the Mandalorian and Grogu.
You know what? I don't think I could beat that. I am going to go back to my normal. I'm going to go with the ZZ Top singing Sharp-Dressed Man at the Ryman Theater in Nashville, Tennessee, with a guest star of Chris Stapleton. And then they break into Tennessee whiskey. Thank you.
Got me choked up. Yes, sir.
And that is where. Yeah.
The only thing I can add to that is when you saw Grogu rocking the armor, he truthfully is a sharp-dressed man, my friend.
Absolutely. All right, man. So I think it's time. Let's do a little wrestling talk.
All right, this will be short and sweet to the point, but I just want to bring the fans up. As you know, we are huge fans of the WWE. So as we're moving past, we saw last night was WWE's Saturday night's main event, which consisted of 5 matches. I'll give you the results of the matches really quickly here. But Bradley, did you happen to watch it either last night? I caught it on the recording this morning because I was at the movies. Did you happen to see the card?
I did not.
I will say this then. Feel free to watch it on Peacock. I will say this, which is both a compliment and a bit of a sad piece. both Backlash, which is a B-level pay-per-view, and Saturday's main event, which is basically an additional Raw/SmackDown card that we get on free television. Both of those, both Backlash and Saturday Night's main event, were better than night one of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we are talking about Backlash, but Saturday Night's Main Event, all the matches were done extremely well. Even the shortest match with the Saul Ruka versus Becky Lynch built to something new. And I don't want to give this away too much, but I truly feel that the WWE is grooming Montez forward for a singles run.
Mhm.
So with that being
yeah.
said, with that being said, the profits didn't break up or anything, but just how that match was booked and who did what with whom, and even how they were commentators, which their job is to drive the story. They definitely feels like there may be something going on with Montez. Something soon. Something I would say by SummerSlam. With that being said, running through the match in order. So Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, and Alexa Bliss. Spoilers to come. Actually lost to Jade, Minchin, and B Fad. The big part of that is that Jade pinned Rhea Ripley, which is building towards their match next week, next Sunday at the Clash in Italy. We then saw Becky Lynch versus Saul Ruka. Saul Ruka won by disqualification when Becky pulled the referee in front of Saul, but the referee took a bump. That was the shortest match, probably rate the lowest because it was such a short match. But that match built. Where's your heart? That match built to the rematch between Saul and Becky at Clash in Italy, where the Intercontinental title would be on the line. Then we saw Paige and Brie Bella taking on the Irresistible Forces for the tag team titles. Paige and Brie won. A bit of sort of kind of cheating. I was hoping that the belts change hands. Brie and Paige are great for a nostalgia act, but these are not who are going to carry the belts for the longest period of time.
No.
I'm assuming we would either get a title change soon, or we get Nikki, depending on Nikki's ankle, coming back, or maybe the Bellas turn on Paige and maybe do something with that. Again, no disrespect to the Bellas nor Paige, but the sooner the belts are off them, we can focus on full-time competitors with longer range storytelling. But again, not a bad match at all. It is what it is. And then two fantastic matches rounded out the card. First off was our boy Penta, the man with no fear. Not Daredevil, Penta, taking on Ethan Page. Two things came out. Penta is incredibly over. Penta is this generation's Rey Mysterio. The amount of kids that were dressed like Penta, that did the hand touching, even the kids that weren't dressed. They had a couple kids in the front row that kept going back to, even though they weren't dressed like Penta, they were kind of dressed like John Cena, to be honest with you. They lived and breathed with this match. And so, again, that magic that Rey Mysterio had, that they tried to duplicate with a couple different luchadors that really didn't happen, they got it with Penta and keep going. Unfortunately, that means for his brother, Rey Fenix, you might be stuck backstage for a while, because I don't think the Lucha Brothers are going to be a thing anytime soon. Ethan Page set himself up so well for a future run as a heel. Gave a couple of old school names for you. Gave all the feelings of either Mr. Perfect or really early Shawn Michaels, that cocky guy that can really perform in the ring. Fantastic. So it was to me the best match of the night. The other great match though was the Vision defending against the Street Profits. The Vision won, but again, if you get a chance, go back and watch that. Both watch the Penta match and the Street Profits match. So much of that match was Montez showing what he could do individual Logan Paul with Austin Theory and with Braun Breaker, and they are totally setting up, in my opinion, the Inner calling for a while. I don't know what this would leave for Angelo Dawkins, but Montez is truthfully, and even the promo backstage before it was so much of Montez talking to Angelo about, can I trust you? You're going to be there for me, all the things. So I think they are right for some type of a split. I like the Rockers and pretty much every really good tag team, the Heart Foundation. You see this happen with tag teams a lot. Angelo Dawkins is a fine talent. Not saying he can't be a star. Even the commentators kept going like, well, Angelo's still really good, but hey, it's about Montez. I think we'll see that. So when you get a chance, go back and watch that. The only thing I want to bring in the One to Wrestle segment, other than this pay-per-view, we'll do we can do a review of Clash in Italy next time we record. But if you watch Raw, you saw the return of someone that we thought was retired, Bradley. Whether you saw Raw or not, the internet jumped all over this. Did you happen to see what happened to Oba Femi this past week on Raw?
Yes, I did. Oh man, a little bit of controversy there.
Yes. I think a lot
Controversy
of
that
it
I kind of believe
yeah.
too.
Yeah. Okay. Let's hear about it. Or in the words of
Man,
our boy Trick Williams, let's talk about it.
Brock Lesnar came back, and I think he did 5 F5s to Oba Femi.
Yeah.
4.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. So, was it a ruse? I don't think so. I think that Brock was done.
Yeah.
And I think
some of the things please continue.
I was saying I think he was pretty much made to come back.
Yep. Yeah.
So,
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you. So a couple things is I think one or two things happened. I think in the end of the day he was made to come back. So I either think he retired with the WWE's forethought and they wanted to bring him back, or he kind of ad-libbed and retired. Like basically because the camera stayed on him in the ring, which they typically don't. I'm assuming that was done with WWE's understanding.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't, from a storyline, make sense for a guy to retire, to come back very much, and it's very un-Brockish, right? You don't have that emotional, you don't cry. The tears between him and Heyman seem 100%. Yes, this is a world that people feign a lot of stuff all the time, but I also think we as fans get when things are 100% legitimate. And those emotions between Brock and Heyman, who are truthfully real-life friends, I think that was legit. So I think at some point, I heard a podcast mention this earlier, is if you look at what's coming up in the WWE schedule for big events, you have number one, the Clash in Italy, week from today as we're recording, and then August 1st and 2nd, you have not only SummerSlam, you have SummerSlam in Minneapolis, which is Brock Lesnar's adopted home. That's where he went, at least the state of Minnesota, is where he went to college. There's a lot of connection between Brock and the state of Minnesota. So Brock is going to have a true farewell song. That may make sense. So there's talk of, does Brock beat Oba in Italy, which would be a huge mistake. He did all this work to build this guy. He completely squashed Brock. No one has squashed Brock. The Undertaker didn't do it. Cena didn't do it. Randy Orton didn't do it. Triple H didn't do it. No one has had such an overwhelming victory against Brock Lesnar ever. So if you're going to do this for what used to be the 1-21-1, now we know Undertaker lost 2 matches. If you're going to do the guy that squashed Cena not once but twice, the guy that broke Triple H's arms, the guy that put both Roman Reigns and Randy Orton out with legit injuries, if you're going to have someone squash him, then you better not ruin that. So no one should be putting their hands on Oba. This should be a Goldberg thing. No one should touch Oba's win-loss record until Oba has won some type of championship. My pick would be the WWE World title. He's on Raw, or because him beating Penta right now is a babyface. Even if Penta lost to a heel-like Dominic Mysterio or Ethan Page, I wouldn't do that. I would not waste that power on the secondary title. I would ride this to Oba versus Roman Reigns. So one of the theories I have, this is not my heard on the Jim Cornette podcast, I want to give due credit, would be if the match with Oba and Brock happens, Oba should win.
Yep.
We then find out that Brock was made to come back because of some type of connection with Heyman. Heyman made him come back. And then that sets up Braun versus Brock Lesnar. Braun versus Brock Lesnar for SummerSlam. That would make this make a little more sense. The Rollins thing should be done after the next PLE. Let Seth go do something else. Let the division do something else. That just needs to end. The injuries have gotten in the way of the division angle. It's not their fault, but we need to be done with that. And let Braun Breaker, another blue chipper, kind of move forward. And then best case scenario, Brock has helped put over not only Oba, but Breaker. And maybe that becomes like, who really retired the Beast? Was it Oba? Was it Braun Breaker? And then we get a Braun Breaker Oba Femi deal. So that's my little 2 cents on that.
As long as as long as it's not Gunther. At this point, Gunther cannot take Brock Lesnar.
If they wanted Gunther to beat Brock and retire Brock, that should have been the plan in the beginning, not after the Oba thing. Absolutely, I agree with you.
Yeah, especially in the same world that Oba Femi is in, that Gunther is in.
Yeah,
like Gunther is not the career killer,
Correct.
I know. I read a few articles, and whether it's true or not, I don't know. But Brock Lesnar has been working with Oba Femi
Yes.
a lot.
Yes, absolutely.
So I mean, like,
I
think Brock wants to pass that torch to Oba Femi, and he.
And I heard and I heard another podcast say this as well. Is if you look at since Brock came back so Brock left WrestleMania 20 in that horrible match with Goldberg. It wasn't either one of Goldberg's nor Brock's fault, nor Stone Cold's fault as the referee. Fans knew that both Goldberg and Brock were leaving after that match, so they crapped all over the match. I get that fans are irritated. So let Brock. Okay. He goes to the NFL, has a cup of coffee, then goes to the UFC, wins some titles there. So since he came back, and that would have been, 20-ish years ago now, if you think about it. WrestleMania 20 was 22 years ago now. Wow. He's always wrestled part-time, and they pointed out, especially when he comes back for a big match, he generally puts over whoever he's in the big match with, whether that's Cody, whether that's Seth Rollins, whether that's our boy Drew McIntyre, whether it's been Oba Femi. Other than, honestly, beating Taker, he usually puts over, at least long-term within the storyline, whoever he's back to face, because he's only here for bits and pieces. Yeah. So he does his job for and really help him build the next stars. It would undo so much. It wouldn't be 1-1 if Oba and Brock split the first two matches. Yeah. It likely does more damage to Oba than it does benefit to Brock if Brock wins at the Clash. So hopefully WWE understands that, and he beats that, and then we set Brock and Oba to bed, and then maybe move on to either Brock truly retiring or his next opponent, which would make sense. It was Braun Breaker versus Brock Lesnar, because there's really not anybody still on the Raw roster that he would feud with other than Gunther, and they're so similar. I really am not excited for that match. I think Braun versus Brock carries all the interest in the world.
Yeah, all right, my friend. I would love that on SummerSlam. All right, man. Anything else for wrestling?
No, sir. Let's jump into our favorites. Our topic of the week, my friend.
Yeah. So this is the Mount Rushmore of Star Wars characters. Now, before we get into the conversation here,
yes, sir,
I do want to say, let's not make it all original characters, not all the original trilogy characters, because I think that's cheating. Because I definitely think this could easily just be Luke, Leia, Han, and Darth Vader.
I would say I agree with three of those, except for one. So let me give you a couple things. So you know how much I say I dislike Buddy from Elf, right?
Yeah.
So So I'll never share this on the pod. This is a safe space. I'm gonna disclose some things here. My second least. Okay, so actually, if I did the Mount Rushmore of the characters Brian can't stand the most, one is Buddy the Elf. Two. Okay, formally number two, because the most recent Superman movie moves Soup into a little more likability, honestly. But I've never shared in the world of Star Wars, the character I can't stand the most is Jar Jar Binks, but that's universal disdain for Jar Jar. But right behind Jar Jar, and until Jar Jar was introduced, my least favorite character in the world of Star Wars was Luke Skywalker. I cannot stand Luke Skywalker for all the flipping. And by the way, I didn't stand him with Episode 5 with Empire Strikes Back. Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan with Episode 4, but after Episode 5, I was like, I'm done. I can't. Even as a little kid, I can't stand Luke. Yeah, with everything they did with, and I kind of tried to sympathize with Episode 6, but then when they reintroduced the character with The Force Awakens, nothing about this kid from birth. Hayden is the most interesting version of him. All due respect to the best Joker in the world, by the way. But if I was Mark Hamill, give me the voice, Bradley. Give me the Joker voice.
Oh, Mark.
Mark Hamill is so good in Kingsman. He's so good in Fall of the House of Usher. He's fantastic as the voice of the animated Joker. I will put Luke. I'm sure it made him a lot of. Well, I don't know how much money it made him, but I'll put Luke Skywalker real low on my filmography because Luke is such a whiny crybaby. Okay, like he was shocked that a dude named Ben also went by Obi-Wan Kenobi. Wait, what do you mean? Like, this is an old man. Why don't you have any idea what his life was. Not to mention, now you're gonna get my rant. Now that we've understood that you've been released from slavery, you have like one solitary leaving my mommy, but then you leave her forever. But then when she's killed, you go and destroy a whole race of people. Bro, you could have went back at any point. You're a fully emerged Jedi. You are half a step from a master, but
You're
you don't
the chosen
think,
one.
you don't think to go free your mom, but then she's dead, and then you kill everybody else around him.
Yeah.
That weird Padme dynamic was kind of ick, but that's more on Padme than him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then, no matter what anybody tells you, you take on a superior Sith Lord who takes your hand. Now you're really bummed out. All these things, and of course we get the silly. No, wait, that was Anakin, not Luke. I'm sorry, I jumped.
You jumped in Anakin. That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, well, I can't say I like Darth more than Anakin anyway. But then Luke, we all know the thing with his sister.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's on George Lucas. George Lucas said in multiple interviews that he knew Luke and Leia were not only sibling but twins when he started writing the character. So all the stuff that he made us think that's on you, George. That's on you, sir. But then, okay, when you found out your dad is yeah, I get it. You're a grown man. You find out your dad is Darth Vader.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what you also find out: your dad is a badass. So instead of going, no, I mean like, dude. I had to ask for the wardrobe because his clothes are much better.
I mean,
okay.
all right. There's a.
Yeah.
So I actually agree with you.
Okay.
I do not think Luke Skywalker is going to make our Mount Rushmore of, and this might be you can come at us and fight us. It's fine.
Yes.
Give us your reasons why you think Luke Skywalker deserves. He did nothing in the sequel trilogies.
No.
Besides a couple, he didn't do anything. He is more interesting in the books than he is in the movies.
Yeah. And the best thing he did, I think, was episode 8, where he did the whole Force hologram.
Mm-hmm.
And he did I got to give him credit, he did steal from Jay and did the whole dirt off your shoulders thing. That was the coolest Luke was. And that also was the end of Luke, which, okay.
The coolest Luke Skywalker scene was in the Mandalorian Season 2 finale.
Fair.
Okay, so with that being said.
I got one more comment.
Go for it.
I will say this, though. And it's going to make me sound weird. It was the 70s and 80s. It was a different time.
Yep.
If you found out late 70s, 80s, or early 80s, Carrie Fisher, Jabba the Hutt slave girl, was your sister, but you didn't grow up together, you might just give it a moment to ponder. That's all I'm saying. You might just ponder it for another. Like, I mean, think about it.
There's a lot of things in that shoebox under the bed.
When Yoda goes, there's another Skywalker. There ain't nobody there but him and Luke. So I personally think this happened. I think Lucas cleaned it up. I think when Yoda goes, there's another Skywalker, and it's just him and Luke in a swamp. I think Luke might have picked up Yoda's pillow and slowly put it over.
He didn't pick it up. Use the Force.
Shh. Yeah, you got. Shh. Hey, ain't nobody here but us. All right, brother. I took us in a really weird place.
That's okay.
All right,
so with that, is it Darth? Okay, I see either in my opinion.
Yeah.
As far as the original trilogy, in one spot of the Mount Rushmore is Darth Vader.
Absolutely. So
Darth Vader.
No. I think Darth. Without anything else, if we had to go, who we're dedicating the spot to, is Darth. But I also Darth, not Anakin. I mean that by my heart. Darth. James Earl Jones, not Hayden Christensen. Okay. The other part is this. I told I had a couple thoughts. So when I did my list, I stopped at 20 plus. I go, this is too many that I like.
Yeah.
Too many from the comics, the animated shows, what they did on the Disney Plus series, obviously original not the original 9, but the 9 movies and the ancillary properties like Rogue and the Mandalorian, like Rogue One, like anything. So I go like, if we have to dedicate slot, I think we dedicate a wing of the 4 slots based on this. Tell me your thoughts. We don't have to do this. But I say we got to dedicate one slot to someone that represents the Force, meaning the light side. So Jedi or not, but someone that represents the light side of the Force.
Yep. Someone that Darth Vader's both.
Yes.
So I mean, there's that.
Yeah, that's what the ladies say about him too.
Hey, so
I think aside, go ahead.
how do people get around on the Death Star?
How, sir?
They take the elevator.
This is the biggest dad joke that I have, and I don't think I've ever broken it out in the podcast, but I got to do it. Bradley,
Yes.
did you know that if Ella Fitzgerald married Darth Vader, her name would be Elevator?
Yeah, I love that. I love it.
I'm here all week, folks. All right, so here we go.
Right.
So we got a slot for the light side of the Force, Jedi or not. I think we have to have a slot dedicated to the dark side, whether that's Sith, Empire, First Order, but something representing the dark side. Then I think because Star Wars has so many great male characters, so many great female characters, I really think we want to dedicate a particular slot to a female character. And then just how we started the pod, and again, Brad and I don't discuss our thoughts on this beforehand. We know that we drive Star Wars. Yes, the buying power is in adults, and now because we all started loving Star Wars when we were kiddos.
Yeah.
A character that's really oriented for kids. I think one for the light, one for the dark, one female, and then one character that beyond anything else, they are here. You can even say it's just to move merchandise.
Yeah.
But they're there for the kids. So I would say if we orient it that way, that gives us our final four for the Mount Rushmore.
Love it, man. Okay.
All right.
So we got we have a Force user.
Side is, okay. We got our dark side invader, correct?
Yeah, well, I mean, you're a Force user, really, but yeah. Okay, so that now we're looking for a light side, or on the light side of the good guy. Okay,
the good guy.
All right. So
again, are we in agreement that it will not be Luke? Can we at least be in agreement there?
We can definitely agree that it's not going to be Luke.
Cool.
And honestly, man, I'm torn here. On one hand, I want it to be Han Solo. On another hand, I want it to be Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Okay.
Because he's amazing in the prequels.
Yep.
But also Qui-Gon Jinn would be in the, but he was only in the one movie. So I kind of was like, you know what? Probably not.
Yeah, I had a similar thought as I really like Qui-Gon. In episode 1, I like Qui-Gon far better than I liked Obi-Wan, thank you. And I gotta say, I like Alec Guinness's portrayal of Obi-Wan better. I mean, I thought Ewan McGregor did a great job. So when we got to the Obi-Wan series, now I think in the movies it wasn't quite as good, but I also think the character that I really like about, and again, the Force is not necessarily a Force user. First, it's really for the light side of Force. The good side is when I think about, for me, who was the one that made me root for the good guys the most? And I just shared you my feeling on Luke. It wasn't Luke. It really wasn't any Jedi. The person that made me root for the good guys was Han Solo. I absolutely think the person, and I like the fact that he's not a Force user. Obviously, his wife, his son are Force users, but I like the fact that the person who doesn't have the connection, who's not Force sensitive, and he takes in the most risk then, right? He's in the most danger, and this guy's a space pirate. He's a swashbuckler. He's a rogue, right?
Yeah.
He also is the coolest cat in the movie because remember, Brad, there's only one answer to when someone, there's only one answer to say when someone says they love you, and that is, I know. Yeah. I got to give it to Han. I'm cool giving it to Han for the protagonist, light side good guy.
All right. So now we got the good, we got the bad. Let's do the female.
Yes, sir.
I mean,
is that Leia? Is that Rey?
I mean, it's not Rey.
Okay.
I mean, Leia. I see it. It can. There's really three.
Okay, let's hit it.
There's Leia. There's Ahsoka Tano.
I was waiting on that. Yes, sir.
And there's Padme.
Ooh, I hadn't even thought about Padme in that.
So
level.
I mean, but really, I would put Ahsoka Tano over Padme. So I mean,
yes,
Princess Leia and Ahsoka Tano.
I would say this. So back to what you just said. So back to Padme. By the way, I think Natalie Portman did a fantastic job. I think of episodes 1, 2, and 3, both her and Ewan McGregor, and again, I noticed that Ewan McGregor didn't do as good a job as Alec Guinness. That's fine. But
Yeah.
Ewan McGregor was really good as Obi-Wan. She was incredibly good as Padme. And by the way, if you had to have okay, she's supposed to. They're only what Brad, remind me, is it supposed to? It's supposed because of the choice of the actors that they depicted.
Mm-hmm.
The age difference between the two of them was supposed to be less than 10 years. They just picked a grown up and a kid
Yeah.
to play those roles, but they're supposed to be younger, closer in age than they're depicted on screen. That being said, she did a great job, but her role, she gives birth to these two twins, but her role in the story, unless ancillary books, really stops at episode 3. So a third of the way through the primary properties, right?
Yeah.
Versus Ahsoka, both the animated series with the Clone Wars, that wonderful job done by Rachel Dawson in the live action, all the things she's done. I definitely will put her above Padme, and then of course you got to go old school with Princess Leia. And Leia again was powerful in episodes 3 through 6, and I love how they handled, especially in the fact that we lost Carrie Fisher during the episode 7 through 9, and I think they handled her death so well. And of all the deaths that we see in Star Wars canon, hers actually hit me among, and I knew that the actress had passed away, and that actually made it not better, but it made you anticipate, like, how are they going to handle Carrie Fisher and Princess Leia? And by the way, whoever wrote that ending, you did a fantastic job. So with that being said, and I think it's okay to go old school here, and I think it's kind of poetic justice that if we have Han, we got his Boo Bear, we got Princess Leia.
I think you're right.
And
I also think I would never hear the end of it if I didn't pick Princess Leia.
Yeah, and I think, and I give her due reference, I think we got to call her General Organa, because that was her title at the end of the series, of her character. All right.
So now we're talking about the aliens, the creatures.
Yes.
Man,
the droids.
the ones that are the kids are buying, the droids. I mean, is it R2? Is it Yoda? Is it
a group?
Is it the Mos Eisley Cantina band?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That also, here's my quick question. The reason I brought the droids was this: when I was doing my list, I start off by looking at R2 and C-3PO separately.
Yeah.
Then I go, we all know that classic line, these are not the droids you're looking for. So R2 and CP3 had always been really, even when they're in separate movies, or we know R2, they give a longer history with the Skywalkers than it gives CP3PO. So those two, I think I almost want to put them as a tag team, but then here's my question. Yes, he was created for merchandise and swag, but it's also kind of cute. Would you, if we talk about the droids as a group, especially R2 and CP3PO, do you throw in BB-8?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Do you throw in the soccer ball? Okay.
A soccer ball, and I put in Chopper, too.
Damn soccer ball.
Yeah, Chopper as well from Rebels.
Okay.
Man, like, really, I feel like it's
what
either
about the Ewoks?
Is the Ewoks, a lot of toys brought a lot of kids in. I mean, I was one of them.
Yeah.
But
that's the whole reason I watched the end. Do you remember that? Go ahead. No, I'll interrupt you. Go ahead, sir.
Does anything really compete with the amount of eyes that Grogu brought to the Baby Yoda brought to Star Wars in the Mandalorian?
There's still people, even given the years plural, that he's been known as the Foundling, that he's been now known by Grogu. We have a movie that came out this week that his name is in the title, Grogu. The fact that so many people still call him Baby Yoda. And for anybody that's curious why, not only is he a separate character, he was born after Yoda died. So he is a separate, he's a separate character. By the way, for those of you that watch Marvel,
no, he was born before Yoda died.
In a timeline, when does Mandalorian take place?
He was rescued from the Jedi Temple during Order 66.
Oh, of course. Never mind. Okay. So with that being said, I think we get
by Kelly and or by the character that plays Jar Jar Binks.
Yes. Thank you.
I can't remember the name of the Jedi.
Okay. So I'm cool picking a singular character over the Ewoks, over the droids. Then my question is, are we talking Grogu, Or are we talking Yoda? Because does Grogu hit different if there is no Yoda? See what I'm saying? Because he is known as Baby Yoda. So does he have the same impact if there's no Yoda? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I think, you're right. You don't get the fans. You don't get the fans to build up and anything to get to the Mandalorian without all the people who had Yoda toys, who who talked in the backwards and things like that. And
he's a green baby at that moment. And also his, I mean, even though they point out the foundling is 50 years old when Mandalorian finds him, the only reason why that really matters was all the years that we had of knowing, like I said, the Yoda syntax. The fact that, again, Yoda probably, when you talk about the most quotable lines in Star Wars, is "I am your father," and this is no particular order. "I am your father," with the requisite "no" afterwards. The "I know" that we all love to say, but then and then also there is there's do or no do. There is no try, right?
Yeah.
So and Frank Oz does an amazing job with that. Outside of Leia's death, for me, the big arc of perspiration was Yoda becoming one with the Force. Like Obi-Wan being struck down, when I saw it, was like, I didn't want him to die, but I didn't really invest it. Yoda we were invested in, and the investment that I have with Grogu is completely because I am invested with Yoda. So for me, I know we said we could start out with the original 4 and we took out Luke, but also I think there's a reason why they're the 4 that came to front of our mind, that we've got Han, we've got Vader, we've got General Organa, and I think we can throw in Yoda.
I co-sign that. I'm 100% is. So here it is.
But now the OGs are the OGs for a reason.
Right. Well, all the OGs that we mentioned are the impact of the entire show. I mean, you don't get, like, Darth Vader steals every scene that he's in.
Absolutely.
Every scene, even in the video games, even in Rogue One. I mean, Darth Vader is one of the greatest villains that's ever graced our screens.
We've all done the Darth. And I'll go even further. While he's never said it, we both love The Dark Knight Returns. And you can't tell me that personification of Bane was not driven, even subconsciously, by Darth Vader. Every time we see a villain or hero wearing some type of mask, every time there's, even if you want to go to Jay Springer, right? Anytime we talk about who is not your donor, I'm your father, and we play that to such level of comedic level. People have never seen Star Wars. If you show them a picture of Yoda, you show them a picture of Darth Vader, they know who they are.
And Han Solo.
I get ready to get that. Harrison Ford has had one of the most iconic careers ever. And by the way, think about people who play 2 iconic characters in their career. He's probably more recognizable as Han Solo than even Indy, and that says a lot. And RIP to Carrie Fisher. But I was a little tongue-in-cheek about all the teenage boys or preteen boys. It was you and I that loved Leia in that bikini. But at the same time, she was a badass. And if you want to look no further, and then I'll hush on this. If you look at this movie, or the 4 we picked, and then we've talked about the greatest Star Trek movie ever made was Galaxy Quest. Among the greatest Star Wars movie ever made was Spaceballs. Think about the characters that we really saw in that. We had the Han Solo character. And they kind of there was no standalone Luke Skywalker.
No.
They integrated Luke into Han, but they gave us Dark Helmet. They gave her the Princess from Druidia, and they gave us Mel Brooks's version as Yogurt. Those 4 are Star Wars. And again, I think, and you know what, Mel Brooks, we don't know you, but hey, we love your work. I think that by itself also is like the fact that they didn't give us a Luke Skywalker. They gave us their version of Han, of Leia, of Vader, and Yoda. They didn't give us Luke. They go, hey, let's just make Han Luke, all right? Because Luke's all right, Let's give Han a ring and make him Luke. That
Yep.
being said, I think that gives us our final 4 for our Mount Rushmore.
I love it, man. The mountain is set. It is Darth
sir.
Vader, Han Solo, General Leia Organa, and Yoda. Okay, man. It is time for something new that we've been talking about a little bit.
Yes, sir.
Pitch Imperfect. So,
Yes, sir.
Brian, do you want to talk about how we came up with this or what this
Yeah.
is?
Absolutely. So we're going to take something that we've done full shows on and really break it down to a segment we'll throw out here just to see on the channel our nerddom, also just to say the drive us. So DC's has had a contest recently to talk about our potential villains. So they got us to think about, hey, if we as fans, and that's what Bradley and I, we know all of you at the end of the day, we're fans. If we as fans were given 2 minutes, kind of like Shark Tank, if you gave us 2 minutes in front of Marvel leadership or Image Comics or DC or Lucas or whoever, if we had to go, pardon me, here's your 2 minutes, pitch a character, and we call it pitch and per because we're going to throw this off the cuff. They're definitely not going to be perfect. If you see holes in the characters, feel free to give us some comments or come at us. But we're going to pitch how we would either introduce a new character, maybe a spin on a current character. So we're going to give each of us 2 minutes. I'm going to throw out a challenge to Brad. Brad's going to throw out a challenge to me, and we're going to pitch how we would solve the pitch imperfect for the weekend. Again, we're given only 2 minutes to really go off the cuff. We don't discuss these ahead of time. So
Yeah.
Bradley, we talked about the 4 that we'll do today as our pilot. This is how we change, improve, modify a current villain of Batman. And by the way, Batman has not only one of the biggest rogue galleries dedicated to Batman, but you'd be hard-pressed to find any significant villain in DC that has not run across the path of the Dark Knight. So
Yeah.
Brad, if you want to go first, give me a character and I would do my imperfect pitch on trying to change, modify, or improve them.
All right, so here it is. Condiment Man. I'm sorry, Condiment King.
Condiment King. All right. So here's the idea of the Condiment King. So as we know, he is probably, if not the lamest villain in the world of all of comics and TV. Thank you for giving this one. But Condiment King, I'm gonna be all honestly, I'm gonna steal from a book that I read back in the day regarding Dr. Light, which was also kind of a less than ideal supervillain. So Condiment King realizes that he is a bit of a laughingstock. He's kind of fed to all, not only secondary but tertiary villains within the DC universe. So the Condiment King decides that the Condiment King is going to make a change. So he decides that he wants to really do 2 things. He wants to have the power to literally break Batman in the palm of his hands, but he also wants the ability to strike fear in the hearts of any and everyone that runs across his path. So the Condiment King ingests 2 incredible toxins and form within the DC universe. One is the fear gas of Scarecrow. The other is the venom of Bane. He mixes these together and he ingests them. What then becomes of the Condiment King is one of the most terrifying, evil, driven completely insane by his own being characters that we'll have in the DC universe. So what we'll see unfold long term are deaths that are attributed to Bane, but Bane is out of the country. Deaths that are attributed to Scarecrow, but Scarecrow is locked in Arkham. So what happens when you mix fear and power? You get paranoia. And this will introduce a new character within DCU. The new villain of the Batman is paranoia. And that will be the new embodiment of the Condiment King.
Love it, love it, love it. I can see how that would
I was
work.
trying to come up with a name. I almost called him Sriracha. No, let's not go there. Let's not go there. Okay.
All right, man, your
Maybe
turn.
wasabi. That's the thing that people are afraid of. All right,
Ooh.
cool. I got a little more 4th one for you. So this is one of my absolute favorite characters in DC. And I like the way he overall has been presented, but I think there's so much growth in this. So this to me is our LA Knight. He's right on the cusp of being that main eventer, yeah, but not quite there. So here's my mid-level DC villain that I want to see how you change, modify, or improve. What would you do if I give you Killer Croc?
Killer Croc. Okay, first of all, I think Absolute Batman gets Waylon perfect. Is it Waylon Jones, right? Waylon.
Yes.
Waylon Jones. Okay.
Yep.
Yes, I love that. I love his
not
portrayal.
Waylon Jennings. Make
yeah,
Waylon
not
Jones.
Waylon Jennings. But I think in this world, Killer Croc is a mutant. Maybe there was some mutagen that was found in the sewers.
Was it near
maybe
pizza?
Yeah, with some pizza.
Gotcha.
But maybe he's not always that way. Maybe the mutagen is just too much. Maybe it's not, the Killer Croc isn't physical. Maybe my take on the Killer Croc is he's a man. And he's in a zoo. And he catches Killer Croc is a bad guy, as in he does bad things.
Okay.
But his victims are worse. He's a hunter of killers. And what does he do? He feeds them to his crocodiles.
I love it.
The killer's croc.
Oh.
Batman may not know what to do. He knows that he's got to stop him.
Yep.
But the villains that he's killed aren't coming back from Arkham Asylum.
Could he even call, since he feeds into his crocs, could be the cage that he holds the villains in? This is so tongue-in-cheek. Could that be, till they're eaten, could that be called the croc pot?
Yes. Yes, I definitely could. I love that. Okay. We're going to do that one again. That was fun. Oh, all right, Brian. So
your version was fantastic, and mine was so tongue-in-cheek, but all I can see is this really dark scene in a comic where Batman finds Croc's lair he's been looking for weeks, and there's bits of humans all over, and there's crocodiles swimming all around, and all you see is Croc raising up from the depths with water pouring over his massive shoulders, and that really, and this jagged letter to show you how angry he is, and he welcomes Batman to the crock pot. That goes back to Batman in the 60s, okay?
Oh, yes.
Which
is my favorite Batman.
Yes. I gotta say, outside of Heath Ledger, Cesar Romero as Joker was so darn good. And actually, and if you go back and I know people sometimes go bang pow, that's all that 60s show is. If you have a chance to go watch that 60s show, couple things. Batman and Robin, there was a lot of subversive, like, not meant for kids. By the way, that was a primetime show. That was not a kid's show. It later in reruns in the cage, they showed it in the afternoon because of the bang pow stuff. But in the 60s when it came out, similar to the Flintstones, that was a primetime TV show. That was a show that was meant for adults.
Yeah.
For another reason, and you give me Eartha Kitt and Julie Newmar's Catwoman, that show is not for adults. I mean, not for kids.
Yeah. I mean, you look at
Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
So, oh, man. Yvonne, I can't think of Yvonne's last name.
Yeah.
But so that show definitely, when we look at Batman and Robin, they played into a lot of wink, wink, nudge, sexiness. When you look at the villains, yeah, again, like Burgess Meredith, and some of those were a little wang, 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 that thing with the penguin. But Cesar Romero as the Joker, there was some darkness there. And the fact that he wore the bright, frilly outfit actually made it a little creepier than some of the later versions of the Joker. So, again, if you like anything to do with Joker, Joker's my personal favorite villain. He just barely nudges Magneto. I gotta just watch that 60 show. All right. With that being said, sir, I got a game for you, Bradley. Would you like to play a game?
I want to play a game.
All right. So you liked it when we did the last recording, so I figure I'm going to bring back the broken bios. Are you
Love it.
down, sir?
I am so down.
I got 3 broken bios. This is me talking about the bios of certain actors or actresses, and then Bradley can get the clues to figure out who they really are. And I will tell you, and every time I do, there's going to be a theme. So we'll see if we can identify the theme at the end of this. So first off, the first broken bio. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Rising up, back on the street, did my time, took my chances. I fought the predator, had close encounters. I even made Happy Gilmore weep. I taught little Nicky some really fresh dances. In the ring, I lost, and yes, I won. There is no doubt Miss Hustle raised my son. The Flavor Saver helped give style to my banter because I'm sort of related to the Black Panther. Rising up, back on the street, I did my time, took my chances. I fought the predator, had close encounters. I made Happy Gilmore weep. My rhyme screws off there. I even taught little Nicky some dances. In the ring, I lost, and yes, I won. There is no doubt that Mrs. Huxtable helped raise my son. The Flavor Saver had get style to my banter. I'm sort of related to the Black Panther.
Carl Weathers.
I'll unpack that a little bit. Rising up, back on the street, the first 2 stanzas were the theme for Eye of the Tiger, which is obviously from Rocky 2. I fought the predator, had close encounters, made Happy Gilmore weep. He was in Happy Gilmore. He also was in Little Nicky, taught him some dances. Mr. Hustle raised my son. So if you've ever seen Creed, Felicia Rashad is fantastic in that. Plays the wife of Apollo Creed, who raises Adonis Creed. And because Adonis Creed was played by Michael B. Jordan as Killmonger is the cousin of the Black Panther. So that's that family tree. Nice job, Carl Weathers. Next up, I walk the halls of starships and planets. All the aliens know my name. I survived when all my crew died. The Weyland-Yutani Corporation gave me fame. I hung with Snape and went on adventures with Monk. I even got to see Jennifer Love Hewitt's junk in her trunk. If this isn't proof that my career isn't whack, you should see me wearing a proton pack.
Sigourney Weaver
again. I walk the halls. Ding, ding, ding. Nice. The third one. From DC to Marvel to the Song of Fire and Ice, my stellar career is hella nice. I starred along Damon, Barry, and even Mr. Denzel. My 1 episode stint on Buffy the Vampire Slayer didn't end so well. My fan base is endless. Everyone always makes a fuss. Even after dying, I'm not just the last, but the very best of us.
And that'd be Pedro Pascal.
Yes. Ding, ding, ding. So, for your bonus point, what do Carl Weathers, Sigourney Weaver, and Pedro Pascal all have in common?
Why, that would be The Mandalorian.
The Mandalorian. Carl Weathers was in season 1, maybe a bit of season 2. Pedro Pascal obviously playing the Mandalorian throughout the series and the movie, and we saw Sigourney Weaver in the very fantastic movie. We both agree in Mandalorian and Grogu. All right, sir. Did you dig the broken bios, my friend?
I love the broken bios. Those are fun.
All right.
I got something for you, buddy. This is I got some
Let's get it.
So here's what I did. So I was browsing through internet. I was doom scrolling, and I was looking up a couple of old artists from back in like the 80s and 90s, and I look them up on Apple Music, and I'm like, that person has released music in the last couple of years. So Brian, So Brian
sir.
S. Dennis,
Yes,
I'm
sir.
gonna
Let's do
give
it.
you an artist, and I want you to tell
Okay.
me when you think they've released their most recent studio
Okay.
album.
All right.
All right, so this one, LL Cool J. Mama said knock you out. When did LL Cool J release his most recent album?
Okay, so Mama said knock you out.
Mm-hmm.
All right. By the way, do you know what LL stands for? Why he's called LL Cool J?
You have said this on the podcast before, and I do
Yes.
not remember.
It is Ladies Love.
That's
Cool
right.
James. Yes.
That's right.
All right. Do I get some room for the year? Do I got to get it right on?
You know what? Like, I'll give you a couple years. I'll give you a plus or minus
Okay.
a few.
Okay. I feel like it's got to be fairly soon. I'm going to go 2011.
Okay, well, 2011 is wrong. It's
All
actually
right.
2024.
You're kidding.
I am not kidding.
I figured with Lip Sync Battle, he wouldn't have done any new music. Okay.
Yeah,
What?
man. I haven't listened to it yet, but I've definitely put it in my queue.
Okay.
I'll be checking that
I will
out
have
probably
to-
tomorrow at work.
I will have to check that out. All
Yeah.
right. That okay. All right.
And
else you got?
because I was feeling
Oh, no.
I was feeling the my favorite rap is 80s and 90s. So when I
Yep,
went
yep.
to LL Cool J, I had to go to Run DMC. Brian
Oh,
S.
okay.
Dennis, when was the last studio album of Run DMC?
Okay. Now this is gonna be tough because R.I.P. to Jam Master Jay.
Mm-hmm.
So then that left Run and DMC. So part of me goes, how often would they release music without Jam Master Jay? But then part of me goes, they would have released music. I'm trying to think when Jay passed. So part of me goes, they may not have released music after the death of Jam Master Jay, but that still doesn't tell me the year in which they released them. So it may have been a hot minute, but they may have released something for his dying. I feel like Jam Master Jay died during or shortly after the Run's House reality show. I'm also trying to remember I believe they were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and so, but that would have done after Jay, because I think watching the speech, I feel like this was Run DMC, and it was posthumous. So I'm gonna split it for generation because I don't remember seeing or hearing anything new. I'm gonna say, you said you gave me a couple years, so I'm just gonna go year 2000. I'm gonna go 2000.
I'm gonna give this one to you because this is 2001.
Nice.
So I'm gonna give that one to you.
Nice.
I'll give that one to you.
I would have never thought they had anything past the mid to late 90s.
Same.
I am still, again, I'm an old school Run DMC. I mean, my favorite Christmas song is Christmas in Hollis. Say what you will. I got a quick Run DMC story for you. So lots of people have heard the song Walk This Way, which is the duet between Run DMC and Aerosmith. Okay. Well, I've had friends that go, what Walk This Way did was, and there's a whole slew of artists that talk about how Walk This Way in their childhood really influenced their musical taste. So you've got Limp Bizkit, you've got Korn, you've got, unfortunately, Kid Rock, Fight Me. By the way, anybody that says, hey, we can't have this artist at the Super Bowl, we can't understand what he said, someone tell me what the hell Bob with the Bob means. I don't know. All right. So with that being said, I remember seeing Walk This Way the first time I saw that video. Loving Run DMC, but Brad, my thought was, who are these white dudes with Run DMC? I had no idea who Aerosmith was. To which my mom, who was a well-rounded musical fan, who made me into a well-rounded musical fan, goes, then she started playing me Aerosmith. And I just remember, oh, that's really cool. Then fast forward a few years, we see Liv Tyler. People are like, oh, her dad's Joe Perry. No, it's not. I played Maury Povich. No, it's not. Like, I don't care what anybody says. No, it's not.
Yep.
Like, her mom hung around the band. Yes, she did, but no, it's not. All right. Anyway, that was my silly Run DMC story. By the way, Love in an Elevator. I got in trouble. Well, trouble in quotation marks. I got a very stern look in college because writing with a professor who was far more conservative than I was, and in my headphones, not earbuds, before earbuds were invented, in my wired headphones, I had a CD, again, I dated myself a bit, of Aerosmith's greatest hits. And as I hop on the elevator, I am singing at the top of my lungs. I thought I was on the elevator by myself, loving the elevator with this professor that I talked about. Hey, we were living it up while we were going down. And she was not amused at all. All right, awesome, sir. That was fun, though.
I got one more.
Oh,
I got
sweet.
one more for you. I got one more for you.
All right.
All right. So this one, everybody knows the song "Don't Stop Believing," but Brian S. Dennis,
yes, sir,
where the S stands for Road to the Hut. Can you tell me when Journey released its last studio album, its most recent studio album?
Okay, so are we talking the real Journey, which to me would always be Steve Perry, or
that's
just
the right
anybody
answer,
anybody that went by the name Journey?
Who? Yeah, the band Journey.
All right, because Journey's one of those groups that I feel like puts out music fairly regularly, and because, just like I said with Steve Perry, they changed the lineup pretty regularly. So I'm going to think fairly recent. I'm just going to go 2020.
You know, I'm going to give this to you as well. 2022.
Okay.
I mean,
boom!
I haven't listened to the album, but I don't know. I guess when you have so many classic songs that are so popular,
yeah.
Do you really need to put out any music? Is anybody gonna? Are you gonna ever play that music live?
Probably not. But by the fact that members of the group may have not been around during the heyday, so they don't get any royalties, they may be like, we got to put out some albums.
That's true.
We got to get paid. I got to get similar to. All right. So let me ask you this then. So we talked about Journey. In my opinion, Steve Perry is the lead singer for Journey. Van Halen, sir. Are you David Lee Roth or Sammy Hagar?
Okay, so I am Sammy Hagar.
The Red Rocker, really?
You know what? I love them both. And to me, Van Halen is Eddie Van Halen. It doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter if Gary Sharon from Extreme is singing for Van Halen, because he did it for an album.
Yeah.
But it's Eddie Van Halen that makes the band.
So I want to come back to that. Who's more Bon Jovi? John Bon Jovi or Richard Sambora? Who's Bon Jovi?
John Bon Jovi. Only because of Blaze of Glory.
Dude. Was that Young Guns too?
That was Young Guns too.
That is the entire reason I went and saw Young Guns too. I like Young Guns, but I don't know if I want to see the sequel. But when Blaze of Glory hit, and I'm going to blame MTV. This is not what MTV played music, boys and girls.
Yeah.
They wore that song out, and that line, I don't know why, because I've never, ever ended someone's existence before, but something about that line of, I never drew first, but I drew first blood. I'm like, I got to see this split. Yes.
I cannot wait for Young Guns 3.
Yes.
I mean, like, I read a synopsis of what it's supposed to be.
Okay.
But we won't get into that.
So
but
to talk about how great the 90s were, folks, you would have folks, not that you don't have it a bit now, but you would have folks that would go to a movie strictly, and this is smart marketing. You would get soundtracks, especially the title, the biggest song or the title of the song from a soundtrack drop a month before the movie, or months before the movie, and the movie and the videos, similar to Blaze of Glory, Young Guns too. The videos were trailers for the movie.
Yep.
So if you watch the video, we all will watch the videos. You forget you didn't need a commercial.
Mm-hmm.
You had that, and that drove you to see the damn movie, and it was fantastic. So other things
Last
we no longer
Action
have,
Hero.
bro. Yes, yeah.
Oh
Okay.
my God, what's another? A Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Oh God, hang on, Brian Adams,
dude.
You know he spelled it wrong.
Yep,
sir. I guess with some Brian Adams. Okay. Yeah. Even as sad is another movie. Then we'll move forward. Springsteen with the Streets of Philadelphia. As sad as that song is, I would listen to that song and go, I gotta go see what happens to Tom Hanks. I gotta go watch it. And it drove me to see that. And of course, the best example of this, it was the first time I saw it. I moved to Iowa. My Heart Would Go On from the Titanic.
Yeah.
You could not escape that song, even if you hated that song.
You know the ending.
Yes. I remember I was like, I don't want to see the song. I don't want to see the movie. I didn't even really like the song, but I'll be sitting like doing something. I was like, and I just start singing the song. And then me with this heavy as this voice that y'all can hear on this podcast, I tried to hit the Celine Dion high note and I put myself in a coma for 3 days. So I went and saw it. All right, my friend. That was fun. I love me some Nerd Court. But would you like to hear my honest ad?
I would love to hear your honest ad.
All right, so we have a theme of today's show. If you heard, we both love Mandalorian and Grogu. We've talked about it, so I figured what better way to honor the release date of The Mandalorian and Grogu, and as we're going to the tail end of May, which to me is going to be Star Wars month, not just Star Wars Day, is I'm going to give you the honest ad for our buddy, Din Grogu, the Foundling, a.k.a. Baby Yoda. Here we go. Similar to Yoda, similar to Yaddle, except he's a baby without a rattle. Power of the Force has no choice but to wreck shop every day. Of course. Feared by the dark, the Empire and others, his small green presence gives his enemies the shudders. Ahsoka may train and Skywalker may teach, but this Padawan will always be out of their reach. With Din Djarin, he will forever stay. His path is clear. Say it with me. This is the way. My honest ad for Din Grogu, sir.
So good. All right, I guess that takes us to our Better Than Us Human of the Week.
All right, I got two. One's from my personal life. One is give it up to Bentley Magruder. He finished 8th in the state in his track meet as a freshman. That's fantastic. Fantastic job out of you, Bentley. And then, of course, we've been talking about it all show. One of the folks that we just love. He's all over everything. He's in Game of Thrones. He's in The Last of Us. He's in Fantastic Four. Fourth step with me, he's going to be in Avengers Endgame. Avengers Doomsday. And, of course, he was all over the Mandalorian and Grogu, including we got about 5 seconds of him without the helmet. We got to get to our boy, Mr. Pedro Pascal.
Yes, okay. And for me, you kind of touched on it at the beginning of the show. For me, the Better Than Us Humans of the Week are all those lost soldiers that didn't make it home. For it's from all our family members that that served or didn't serve, that aren't with us any longer. Memorial Day is upon us, and just a nice little thank you for everything that everybody does and the memories that I have for my grandpa, my grandmas, and all that. That's my Better Than Us.
Freedom is not free. My father was a veteran, or is a veteran. You know, you're once a veteran, always a veteran. Obviously, I share a podcast with a very, very proud veteran as well. And I just want to say this, someone that is not a veteran, but I just want to thank all that you do. And we'll say this again, we get to Veterans Day. For the veterans here, for the veterans that gave their ultimate sacrifice, I truthfully, regardless of political affiliation, I truthfully appreciate all the things that the veterans do, because you stand up so I don't have to. And I really, truthfully appreciate that, sir.
It's my honor, man. Being a vet is it's awesome. So stories forever, but anyway, you know what? That could be a whole nother episode. Let's go ahead and close everything down. Brian, how do we close it? We've hit max levels of awesomeness.
As always, folks, thank you for joining Brad and myself what is the best part of our week, and hopefully it's one of the better parts of yours. My words of wisdom as you get ready to start this Memorial Week, and no matter where your travels take you, please remember these words of advice from your buddy Brian. First off, no retreat, never surrender. And in the immortal words of the Goonies, never say die.
Just because you can reboot something doesn't mean you should. And remember, confidence is just stupidity that survived long enough to feel validated.
Love it.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, folks.